probably learned very early on in your school years that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Normally we get out a map or we began to look at where we are and where we wanted to go. We plan for the most direct, straight route. Because the shortest route is always the best route, right? Not always. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 1, the Torah portion, Bashalach, which means when he sent out. Let's go to Exodus or Shemot, chapter number 13. Let's read verses 17 and 18. And it came to be when Pharaoh had let the people go that Elohim did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, though that was nearer. That's the point A to point B, direct straight line route. For Elohim said, lest the people regret when they see fighting and return to Mitzrayim. So Elohim led the people around by the way of the wilderness of the Sea of Reeds. The children of Israel went up in, and depending on your translation, it's in fives or in divisions from the land of Mitzrayim. Israel at this point really has no clue or idea of all that they are about to encounter. There are going to be victories, there are going to be defeats, there's going to be a lack of water, a lack of food, supernatural supply of both of those necessities, overwhelming encounters with the mighty one of Israel, revelations about their own hearts, a daily revelation about food on the ground, bread from heaven, encounters with adversaries, encounters of rebellion, dealing with their own Mitzrite inclinations that they have carried in the wilderness with them. It's a fascinating journey. It's a fascinating story. It's a very modern, very appropriate for our day story because we need to deal with the same issues. At the onset of this journey, as we examine these scriptures, the various players have different ideas about what's taking place. Pharaoh, for his vantage point, he is thinking shalach. I am, and the word shalach there meaning, or shalach meaning to send off or away or out, to send them forth, to dismiss, to give over, or even cast out. The idea is I am demanding that these people get out of here. I've had enough. I'm done with them. And just take your stuff and go. So in his mind, he is still exercising royal authority in that he is making a demand that they go rather than answering a request, perhaps, that Moshe and Aaron has been making consistently. Let my people go that they may serve me. Excuse me. For the people's part, by and large, I would understand that they're thinking it's because of who we are. It's our race. It's our heritage. It's our ethnicity. It's our bloodline that is the issue. It's our lineage. These are things that we can't help, Pharaoh. We can't help who we are. And maybe there were those that were going out, were thinking, I still hate to leave this place. I mean, we grew up here. We've been here for a long time. So they may be thinking, we're leaving for reasons that are out of our control. Maybe not even reasons of our own choosing. And if it were left up to us, and evidently it was to the vast majority of them, according to the writing of Hebrew sages and commentators, that 80% either died prior to this point during the time of the plague of darkness, or else they just refused to leave and they stayed behind. However that might have worked out, there was still an enormous amount of people who were making this journey. I'm sure that many of them that had been beaten and enslaved and worked hard were glad to get out and rejoicing to do so. But I have to think that there were among them those that were reluctant. Why was Yahweh, how was he looking at this situation? Well, it wasn't a demand of Pharaoh, and it wasn't race and lineage alone. Yah was bringing them out for a twofold purpose. Number one, because he made a covenant promise to Abraham. He promised this great man of ancient history at this point, your descendants are going to be slaves for a period of time, over 400 years, and then I'm going to bring them out and I'm going to return them to this land. Now, during the journey, Yah announces, get out of the way, Moshe, I'm going to kill them all. So Yah at least threatened to violate the integrity of his own covenant promise out of great wrath and fury against the people. For all of the covenant promise, they fought him hard and resisted him consistently to bring that promise to pass. Does that not have application in our day? Are there not those that have the covenant promise that Yah is through the prophets, as he has said, he's going to bring us from the four corners of the earth and reassemble us in the land and cause us to become one nation again, all the tribes together, an innumerable host of those that have come because of redeemed lineage and bloodline, but also those that have come through the same covenant offering that Yeshua has made, whosoever will. The times of the final redemption, the final restoration of all things, Yah is going to bring that to pass. But how many of his own people are going to fight and resist him? And we would think, I can't imagine anyone would. But they did, and some will. Don't let that be you. And the second reason that Yah brought out his people, it has been consistently announced, let them go that they may serve me. So now we come back to the opening line, the shortest distance between 2 points. Rather than bring them through the land of the Philistines, which would guarantee military encounters, Yah led them in a roundabout way that included Mount Sinai. If they had gone through the land of the Philistines, they would have bypassed divine encounter opportunities, perhaps, with the Most High. Israel's battle did not need to be with adversarial neighbors. Their battle needed to be, and not even with Elohim, not even with Yah, but with themselves in the face of Yah. In the book of Yochanan, John, Yeshua said in chapter number 1 that he was the light and that he came to his own and his own did not receive him. In chapter number 3 of the same book, he describes how that men love darkness. They love the darkness that they think hides their own sins, and they abstain from the light because there they are exposed. The light of Yah, his glory, was exposing the reality of the inward man on the inside, and they fought him about that. Do I really have to change? We want convenience. We want ease of travel. We want the most direct route and the shortest time spent possible. Yah's about the journey. He is all about from one location to the next, that you might encounter him in ever deepening levels of his reality, so that you might have to then deal with ever deepening levels of your own reality. Yah wants us to come clean. If we run from one point to the other as fast as possible, we miss what's important. Trust him. Let him lead you to the next place, to the next point, to the next encounter, to the next test, and reveal more about him and about you. More tomorrow. Until then, shalom.